drives us is primarily the idea of putting out a very livable, sustainable, and really elegant design. As a designer and developer, I'm able to take a concept and work it through the design phase and then implement that concept in the construction and development phase. And in doing so, we have more control over the quality and the budget and the overall outcome of the project. Our aesthetic relates to Northwest modern style. Northwest architecture is a design based on opening up spaces to allow more light and creating higher ceilings to create the sense of more space, given that we spend so much time inside in this environment, in this climate. It begins with site development, and we took a inner city lot and divided it in such a way that we could fit 4 single-family homes compactly on the site, but still create good livability with the proximity of the homes to each other. And in doing so, we create houses that are 3 stories by necessity, so we can fit all the functions and the elements within the envelope. It's important in doing that to allow for natural light, but also to allow for views out between the units and not to have units looking right into the windows of the other units next door. So we've spent time modeling and strategically placing the windows in each unit, and we're very specific in putting a window in every room so that we actually have a natural light source for every space inside the home.
Even with all of the lights off in the middle of the afternoon on a pretty gray day, there was still plenty of natural light so that you didn't really have to turn lights on. When we walked into this main space here, we just loved the aesthetics of it, the efficiency of it, the way the space has been designed. I mean, there's no wasted space in this house whatsoever. So the environmental features combined with that was just enough to make us want to make a change.
So as with any house, the windows are typically the weakest point in the envelope. And in our effort to create a thermally efficient house, we utilized windows that have a thermal break, which is actually a plastic piece that separates the outside of the frame from the inside of the frame. And you can actually see it here too. It's this black plastic strip. And what that does is it allows the window to not have the heat transfer from the outside to the inside. And we utilize aluminum windows for the ability to create as much expansive window as we can with the minimal amount of frame. So we house all of our mechanical systems in their own room in the garage. This room is insulated, so all the mechanicals are in an insulated space. This is the Life Breath Clean Air Furnace, which has the built-in heat exchanger, which is exchanging the fresh air from the outside with the stale air from the inside and providing heat for the house. This is the solar hot water tank, which is connected to the panel on the roof, which circulates a fluid into the bottom of the tank, exchanging the heat from the sun and heating hot water. And then this is the high efficiency boiler, which is heating the water for the clean air furnace and for the radiant heat system, which you see the pipes are for here on the wall. I think that it's really important that as a designer that you have an idea for how a building gets built, and you have an experience working with other trades to see the process. And I value that my experience has taken me through the design phase and through the construction phase on a project, and that really helps inform my designs now. So when I think about what it is that I want to create, I think about it from the context of creating that in the field, actually constructing it.
There's a genuine trade-off between this more energy efficient construction and doing it the more traditional way. There's clearly more upfront cost, right, with this kind of construction, and people have to be willing to sort of pay that up front, or we have to find more creative ways of financing that up front, because I think on the whole, the benefits long term are clear.
I don't think we have a choice but to follow a sustainable track in architecture, that generations from now, we're not going to have the luxury of not building with the idea of energy efficiency in mind, for instance, or sourcing our materials as locally as possible to our building sites. a generation from now, it's going to become the norm. And now's the time to focus on what it takes to get to that point. And to do it any other way means that we're not going to actually succeed in the end of having a bright future.
What kind of city would I like my daughter to live in? Well, I'd like her to live in a city a lot like Portland, where we have the infrastructure for bicycles, we have more and more public transportation going in, we've got an urban growth boundary that tries to limit sprawl and creates incentives for the kind of redevelopment that this house represents.